Oh, wow. Alright, so we got 2 out of this hole. This is the fatter of the 2. Stocked brownie, and he's gone. Pretty dull colors in here today. So this stream has got a mix of stocked browns, stocked rainbows, and wild browns. So I like that I can get 3 different types of fish. So far, off of the patterns, I am running, because I just had success last weekend and was lucky enough to get out again this weekend. But I'm running a similar system, but back to my rod instead of Scott's. This time I'm running the hare's ear up top, which is what that guy just took. Gold ribbed hare's ear tied by me. And then for this fly, it is a tungsten surveyor with a silver rib and silver beads. So I got a little bit of compare and contrast with the different color beads and bodies. And that was a successful pattern last weekend, so I figured why not try it again. In terms of attacking this water right now, just had a hit. Basically, the 2 fish that I've gotten, I got one at the top of the pool, off of this main channel where the bubble line comes in. I cast towards the sticks just to the left of the main channel and got into that slower current and picked up that small brown, and actually caught one on the right side of it, but I just didn't get it to net, but got one on the right side of it. Now I've dropped to the back of the pool, which quite frankly I should have done from the start. Started in the back, worked my way up. So I decided after I got the one at the top of the run, I would drop back and try this again, and that fish paid off. So gonna try to pick up another trout or 2 in this spot and see if we can't have any more luck. But you know, for now the patterns are working, and the way that we're approaching the stream seems to be good to start the day. Oh, I caught this fish by accident. Wasn't even paying attention. I got lucky, but this is our second brookie in the stream. And again, I'm gonna assume that these are stocked fish. I know nothing about wild brooks being in here. The way his fins are beat up, it's definitely a stocker, but pretty cool to get a brookie. Let's get him back. So I'm certain now that somebody does some private stocking in here, but we'll take it. There's going to be some really nice wild browns. I'm pretty confident we're going to get into maybe a 12, 13, 14, possibly 15 plus inch fish, but the fact that we're getting into brookies too just makes it a little sweeter. So we're going to keep casting in here and see if we can dredge up. I really got lucky on that last fish. I'm going to cast a little closer to the tree, get a drift down there. Alright, nothing. Let's move up in the hole. So we're in a small stream. I don't want to do a lot of wake, so I'm going to try my best to stay out as much as I can, given that in these small streams the fish get really spooky. I definitely have to set this hook a little better. I've missed 2 fish today because of bad hook sets, but this looks like a nice deep hole. We're gonna try to pull one out of here. Nope. Move up. All right, get our first wild brown. Tiny little thing, and there he goes. You look me. Look at that. Well, I guess that's how you know you're using sharp hooks. So, tiny little brown. We got 2 brooks all stocked and 1 wild brown. Try one more drift in here. There we go. All right. Let's slide up. This is a very, very good spot coming up. I've caught a very nice fish out of this very hole before. So we're gonna loop it in. There we go. Oh, this one's a rainbow. Again, I might get 3 types of fish. Oh, would you look at that? Beauty. He's got a big old head and a thin body. You can tell that he is thinning out due to not enough food. So unfortunately I duped him to thinking I had food, but unfortunately, my friend, it is not real. All right, I mean, just a big old head on a thin little body. Let's get him back because I don't want to stress him out any more than he needs to be. And he took the surveyor. Rainbow taking a surveyor. Wants a little red in his life. Gotta get this straightened out. Alright, so we have got in 100 yards of fishing a brown, a brook, and a rainbow. I've never caught either of those in this stream, but apparently they do a little bit of private stocking, or the state does, one or the other, but I was unaware. Try again. A little higher on this one. There we go. Got him. right. Another brown. Feisty, feisty, feisty. And he took the hare's ear. Little guy. All right. Good start. We are 5 fish in and 100 yards of fishing at best. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We are making a killing out here in southern PA. There he goes. Another small brown. I just walked up on this hole. What I like about it is I've got a feeder lane of current here, another one that comes in around there. It splits off in front of the rock and then around another current that comes in there, and then finally on the far side. So I see 4 feeding lanes for fish. Now, do I think all of them are occupied by fish? Absolutely not. However, what I do think is there could be a fish, even a nice fish, laid up in this hole. So what I want to do is I want to cast up into it and try to get a drift through here to try to catch it in an effort to hopefully, you know, kind of get it out of the hole or stop it from spooking into that far hole. Because if all I did right now is I trudged to the other side of this rock and I cast up into this root ball, yeah, I think there's a great fish in there, and probably one in which it's going to be double digits. But what I don't want to do is spook a 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, inch fish into that hole and shut down the entire spot. So let's get a couple drifts in here, just drag it through, see if we can't pick up a fish. Even if we just get a bite to get it to kind of like lay down and not move. Worst case scenario, there's no fish, and that's kind of what we want. But you want to test out the water because you just never know. All right, so I gave it 4 good drifts. I didn't get anything to hit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide up into this better water. I'm going to start on this first lane, and then I'm going to get to the far lane and just get it underneath, because there is going to be a fish sitting in here. Oh, wow. Holy crap. I thought I was just stuck on the bottom, and instead I was tangled up with an absolute monster fish. And he broke me off, completely broke me off. That fish was probably 16 plus inches. Lesson learned about the right approach, but unfortunately you need to learn a lesson about tying better knots. I like a couple things about this hole and the next. This rock in particular has got a nice little deep channel that runs through it, so we're going to try to get something out of it. There we go. Got him. All right, so we've been playing around with fish today. We're gonna stop that trend so we don't get tangled up and lose fish. Hook's already out. Nice wild brown. Not big, but it's not always about the size of them. The hook was out. I know that hook was out. There we go. All right, live to see another day. So sometimes they're not always in the ideal spot. You know, I would have bet that that fish would have been tucked up closer to the rock. Gives them a nice refuge. It's out of the current. But because I wasn't getting anything out there, I decided to cast to the top end of it, right where the channel comes in, and sure enough, that's where they held, where he held. So we're gonna slide up. We've got some good water coming up ahead. There's a lot of good water on this creek, so you're probably gonna hear me say that a lot. But for now, let's walk up and try to get into some more trout. There we go. Real nice, pretty fish. Got his white tips, his red fins. Beauty. This is a nice fish. Looks like a brookie. Yep, real nice stock brook. Last one I missed just cast before was a nice brown, but nice brook. Get him. Whoop. Yeah, one giveaway with why these fish are stocked. I mean, look at his fin there. I believe that's a peck fin. It's just real dull. The other side's actually in good shape and got white tips, but you can just tell due to that right there that usually that is a stocked fish. So we got 3 fish out of this hole, one of which I missed, one of which I caught. Or excuse me, 2 of which I caught. So we're gonna keep getting after them. I'm actually surprised I've been catching fish, kicking up sediment, and it's rolling out into the eddy and then going into the main stream. So there's another one, tiny little brown. So there he goes. They're loaded up in this creek today. Oh! God, all the nice ones are the ones I'm missing. I felt the weight of that one. There's another. No, that one's just a chub. The one that I missed though, that was a trout. That was a trout. Try one more drift and then we're gonna go to the next spot. Oh boy. And as you say, one more drift, you get your nicest fish in the run. Stay upstream. So right now I got a little bit too much line out. I definitely want him out in front of me. So he's doing that. We're gonna reel some in. We're gonna use this current to bring him back to me. There we go. This one's a stocked brown. So I've caught all 3 types of stocked fish out of this stream today. I don't know if I've ever done that. So let's get him up, give him a look. And the reason why I can tell he is stocked, pec fins beaten up, and dull colors. And he jumped out of my hand, a wild fish. They would have stayed with me for a little bit. They know that I got love for them and take care of them. But these stockies live to see another day. So we're gonna slide up here, get to the back of the hole, cast up in it. We're gonna work our way from back to front. Best spot, prime location, closest to the rock. 2 feeding lanes, technically 3. So I got 1, 2, 3 coming in at that rock. I almost want to throw a streamer, but I'm not going to. I've just been too successful right now with nymphs for big and small fish alike, so I don't think there's a need to change. But we'll start with our first drift. Okay, take a step up. So right now, this is definitely one of the best holes in the creek that I've crossed. I've caught a lot of fish in the other holes, and that tells me a couple things. Either number one, they're not in here. Or number 2, there is a real predator sitting up in this hole, and nobody else wants to come in because he is taking over. And I'm gonna say that it's the predator option. Got to get him up ahead of me. He almost ran me into that rock. Let's get this bad boy in. Wild brown to the net. That time we were pretty far out. Probably one of my furthest drifts for a brown trout. Alright. There he goes. Back into the hole. Good little dancing. Still dancing. Still dancing. All right. These long distance casts are paying off with beautiful, beautiful browns. Got them in the bottom with the surveyor. Out it goes, because it's barbless as always. Hands are always wet. Because we're lucky enough to be handling fish. Nice pec fins, white tips, red adipose. Just a great wild fish. And there he goes. This one. There we go. I like this rain. That's what I want. Alright, so that's two more than I've ever pulled out of this hole, so we'll take it. We're going to move on to the next spot. Actually, since I'm now cross stream and I can get a different look, I'm going to run one right up in there. Right up in there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop back. There we go. Tungsten beads are dropping. Alright, got a hit. Let's try it again. One more drift. Alright. So, let's move on to the next spot. I don't think there's going to be anything in here. It's just a couple inches deep. However, this next spot up by the trees, feeling pretty good about. So, next spot. This hole has definitely been a producer for me. Sometimes I get some in the back of the hole, and then another one in the top. So, we're gonna try to do just that. Alright, so got our one in the back. Nice little buttery brown. Let's get this out of here for you, bud. There he goes. Got one. That was a nice take too. It's a fall fish. Look at that, a rainbow. That might be a brookie. Yep, it's a brook. It came up and whacked this thing. Ugh. Wow, he's a fatty. Stalker, but a fatty. All right, well, let's get back up on this ledge. Try to get into another trout. So, this little spot just yielded a nice brook trout. I'm gonna lift him up. Well, the brookies have been awfully squirmy today. More so than the wild browns. But we're gonna lift him up, show you that we got into a nice one. It's probably 12, 13. But he took it square in the mouth and hit that thing hard. I actually thought I had the camera on, but needless to say, I was wrong. He hit it hard, he hit it fast, and he is going back home. So he is swimming back to the hole that I got him in. I actually saw him rise, if I'm not mistaken. There was a caddis or something laying eggs, and I cast up into the top of the drift and he smacked it. So it's 2 brookies on this little streamer. Just drifted it in just like this, and then there he was. So hopefully we can get a nice wild brown doing that same thing, but the hole was exactly what I thought it was going to be in terms of just the makeup. It's got two feeding lanes going right in under this rock. Perfect spot for a nice trout to hide out. And sure enough, that's what he did. I mean, you can see this stream's only about 10-12 feet wide. Not many places for trout to lie, but sure enough, he was right where he was supposed to be. There we go. Saw it rise. Alright, so I am going to switch. I'm going to put on a dry fly dropper. So we're going to give them what they're looking for. Since fish are rising, why not? Alright, so I've gone a little unorthodox. As I mentioned before I cut off the camera, some fish were rising. You can see it right there. I think it's just one fish, to be honest, but I wanted to kind of give him what he's looking for as opposed to trying to force this streamer bite. So as a result, what I did is, honestly, I'm a little oversized, but I'm running low on 4X fluoro until I restock at home. But I've got this stimulator, and I've got underneath of it a hare's ear. I wish it was a little longer. I can extend it if needed. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this mono rig to dry drop it and basically try to entice some fish with a dry or the nymph. So we're going to cast to this guy, see if we can't maybe get our first dry fly action of the year. Well, we had a dry, have a hit. Let's see if we'll take it again. And if not again, we'll take the nymph with the hare's ear getting smacked. There he is. There he is. Alright, I want to get him downstream so he doesn't completely screw the pool. He did not take the dry as I had hoped, but he took the hare's ear, and we're happy to have a fish. So even on 2X, they're still out here trying to take the dry, and they're still going after the nymph. So I know that fly fishermen all have their quirks, and they believe in this and they believe in that, and there is merit in it for sure. But sometimes brown trout are going to do what they want, and they'll help you out if you just give them a good presentation.